Welcome to the interesting disaster that is the Forum Thread podcast. Here today we have myself, Dark One Dry, Mr. Fusion,
Greetings, everyone.
Chaos Mana,
Hellos.
iWes,
I'm here.
there he is, Indie Renegade,
Allô, bonjour, comment ça va?
and Chazo. Or, I said that wrong again. Oh well. So anyway, before we started rolling, was it Indy? You were talking about McDonald's and what you guys call them up there?
Yeah, I guess we were
Well, Andy,
talking
just
about McDonald's.
let everyone know that you reside in Canada.
I do indeed.
Okay. Now, where in Canada? You don't have to give us your address.
Oh yeah, we can just give us your zip
Above-
code, and
above
we'll look it
America.
up on Google Maps later, and then we'll all stalk you
Yeah.
that way. So
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead.
absolutely.
Like how Chaos was going to
That's
do
what I'm
you, Dark?
into.
We'll not
Eat your
talk about
cookies?
that right now.
All right, we'll discuss that later. I was born in the Maritimes, which is the east coast of Canada, in the province of New Brunswick, which I don't assume anyone of you would know, because
Nope, I have no idea. Sorry.
yeah,
That's on the east side.
east side. So like.
Is it the
Yeah.
good side or the bad side?
It's the medium side.
Well, it's the sunny side.
It's like the
Actually-
Philadelphia then.
Yeah,
Canadian
basically.
Philadelphia.
Canadian Philadelphia.
Yes.
It's always
It's like north of where we are,
it's
Dark.
the cheap part of Canada. The further west you go, the more expensive it gets in general. So it's actually kind of ghetto, but it's
Oh.
nice. It's nice. It's
That's
nice to
stupid.
know.
So you live in the equivalent of the Canadian hood. Okay. All right.
No, not right now. Actually, I actually live in the Northwest Territory, which is
Yeah,
a
she was
whole different-
born in the hood, but
Oh,
she
so
Born in
she's
the
thug
hood.
life. Okay.
I'm
all right,
assuming that's
Canadian
the
thug
Northwest.
life.
So-
I was born
like-
in the hood. Now I live in basically Skyrim. This is the tundra.
It sounded
she-
like you said Skyrim.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
live in
that's what she did
basically
say.
Skyrim because Skyrim is tundra.
I would love to
Me
live in
too.
Skyrim just for like a day.
So
I
now,
would get-
so that means she can actually sing that song that J-Lo sings, only switching up the names. Like, don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Eileen from the block.
Yeah,
What?
basically. You know, I'm this huge Dovahkiin now. No big deal, but I still represent. Still got it, you know.
So wait, you're Dragonborn? Oh man, that changes everything to this
am.
podcast, guys. I mean, we have
I had
a
no idea we had
Dragonborn
such
joining
a-
us.
Yeah, distinct celebrity like that. I'm
Yeah.
honored.
Did I also tell you that I'm
And she has a whole video
and
game.
I'm actually the hero of time as well. I have the Triforce on the back of my neck.
Oh my
So I think
god.
it counts or something.
Now,
Yeah.
which
I think-
Triforce? That's the big question.
I bought
Which
a Power
I
Triforce?
think
Ranger
I may
belt.
love you.
I have
It-
I have a Triforce tattoo on the back of my neck.
But the Triforce of Life,
Yay,
the Triforce
especially
of
against
Wisdom, or the
Kentucky.
Triforce of Power? Which one?
I have the full ass Triforce. Actually, it's just the three. It was my first tattoo. Like 3 days after I turned 18, I decided, I'm gonna do this now. And the first thing I thought of was just getting the basic 3 triangles on the back of my neck.
It
You
would be-
rebel, you.
It
Whoa.
would be so hard for me to decide what
I
I,
mean,
would want to get
why
for
not?
a tattoo.
Really?
Oh, dude, I've got a tattoo that picked out of what I want to get, but I just don't have the funds for it because it's gonna be one of those like $15,000 to $20,000 tattoos.
Yeah.
What?
Holy crap.
Honestly, that's what you want to go for, though. In the tattoo industry,
Wait,
you
is
pay
it
for what
literally
you get.
20,000?
To get a really good color one.
Yeah.
It would go from the back of my tricep on one arm and all the way across my back and down to my thigh on my one of my legs.
But let me guess,
It
it's
would be,
not cheap coloring. It has, the shading and the
Right.
The,
It's supposed to be a
would
dragon
it be
on
of?
across my back. That way,
Wow.
full color with maybe having it like coming out of my skin, so it's got the shading. Yeah, it would be really really awesome.
Do you have a drawing that we can put in the linked up or something?
No,
Do
it's
we have a link?
just
down?
kind of in my head.
Well, then you
Okay.
need to take it out of your head.
Well, I will when I have money to go ahead and actually get it put on me.
Yeah, when it's
Until
20
then, it's
grand,
just-
it's like, do I buy a
My dad
house or do
tried
I
to get
get
me
this
a
tattoo?
tattoo in a
Yeah,
foreign
there's a lot
country.
more important things I
Yeah.
could spend that much money on.
I would never want to spend anything more than say 50 to 100 on a tattoo.
You
I
get
don't think
you
that
get
they're-
what you pay for, my friend. Remember that.
Yes.
Exactly. You really, really
My
do.
sister's
I'd probably
got
go to 500.
No, even then, that's kind of on the cheap side. My sister, she's got
My goodness.
a bunch of them, and it's the cheaper ones that she's gotten. She's had to have them touched up a couple of times, and some of them she's actually had to have altered just because they were not symmetrical. You have to make sure you get a good artist that knows what they're doing, and it's definitely worth paying extra for a good artist.
That's what I hear.
Well, I've been contemplating.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit my 35th birthday in a few weeks. I'm getting old,
Dun
guys.
dun
Wow.
dun.
Well, one of the things I was debating on was finally getting that elusive tattoo, and my wife and I kind of argue about this because she has a tattoo and I don't have any ink, and she always thought that I figured at some point you would have gotten ink. The one I've kind of settled on that she makes fun of me is I want Usagi Yojimbo. If you don't know who that is, it's a comic book
don't.
character. He's
I
a
love
noble.
you.
He's a noble rabbit samurai. Most people know him. If you watch the old Ninja Turtles cartoons when we were kids, when you were younger,
Yes.
that's where
Yes.
that's where he was prominent. That's where he made most fame because it was an indie comic, and I mean, it's a really good comic. If you ever have a chance, go download some of the old Usagi Yojimbo comics. But I just really liked the character, and then the other one was I kind of wanted him on my arm, and in the background having Fin Fang Foom. If you don't know what that character is, he's in the Marvel universe. I'm a big comic books guy, if you haven't noticed.
I would have never guessed.
And he's a super intelligent villain. He's a dragon that can talk, and he's really intelligent. He's lived around for thousands of years, and he's one of the main villains in the Iron Man comics. And so I was debating on getting that.
Oh, I love
getting
Iron Man.
that. It was going to be Usagi Yojimbo in the foreground, and in the background you have Fin Fang Foom. But the problem is that, like I said, I've seen artists work, and I'm really paranoid. I want it to look really good. I don't want it to have a cheap outline of the characters. It has to look good. So I know that once I do that, I'm going to be spending a lot of money on it.
You also have to find the right person. I mean, don't
I almost got a
feel
tattoo.
like you
I
can't. Yeah, like what you want to do is you want to travel if you have to. If you really want it that bad, do it.
If I had that much money to spend, I'd rather be getting like a high quality computer or something like that.
20
You need
grand?
a car.
New car.
Yeah, get yourself a car.
Yeah, you get a car, man. 20 grand for a car or a bike. Don't If you want to you can build a high
could get
quality
Dark's
computer
car.
for about 2 grand these days.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
That's what I built. I
could-
built one last year. That was my Christmas gift. I was allowed to go ahead and just go buck wild and buy what I wanted to build, a custom rig, and I did. Total it's about $2,000, but this bad boy does everything. It could do video editing, gaming, everything, and audio editing. So it's kind of my main
Yeah.
machine right now.
That's about how much my machine costs too.
I have a $400 Facebook machine. That's
Yeah,
it.
you don't count.
Facebook machine.
Well, that's
I thought
That's
it was
a-
special.
You just got screwed over.
They're not. I don't hate Apple, but I don't think their product is any more fancy than anything else on the market. That's my only complaint about them. Like, really?
I love how you're saying that while I'm using a MacBook Pro
Are you?
to record this.
Really?
Yeah.
though,
well, I mean,
Yeah,
as,
this was my gift when I went to college.
He likes to pose as a hipster with his
Yeah, and my
MacBook.
Achievement Hunter slap band.
I have a compact Prezzaro CQ56. Although that being said, I'm running Ubuntu right now, so I'm probably just a hipster. We're like cousins off the kernel, kernel cousins.
Who needs me?
So anyway, guys, change the subject real quick. Everyone knows PAX East is going on right now, so
Everyone
information
does? I
is
didn't.
slowly trickling in on some of the stuff. If you're a big Civilization 5 fan, you've heard that they're going to have an update to
Oh,
it
are
where you
they?
can play with XCOM soldiers in Civ 5. The other thing is, like we were talking about before we started recording, DuckTales, an old NES game that I absolutely loved as a kid. they're going to remaster it with better graphics and actually have all of the original sound voice actors from the cartoon cut, and they have everyone they've completed their work. Even the main character, Alan Young, who does Scrooge McDuck, he's like 94 years old. He finished his lines
Wow.
recently. They're going to remaster it and release it out later this spring, and I'm looking forward to it. They have a trailer on Kotaku's website if you want to take a look. But like I said, this is one of those games that it was like kind of a little guilty obsession. I loved playing that game. That and Rygar.
Yeah, and it'll
That
be
kind
really
of voice
cool.
acting
Like,
is hard to get back.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, like I can just picture them now, like being able to hear Huey, Dewey, and Louie do their stupid little one-liners, like "Wacko, Rudy." Totally take me back to my
That's interesting
childhood.
that they're making a game like that now, because I wouldn't have thought that would have been coming back.
Well,
What, with
Disney's pushing real hard in the the gaming world. They have that
They really are.
MMO that they're trying to release. I don't even remember the name
Wait,
of
what?
it. They have a Disney
I didn't know about
MMO.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Disney just needs to hold back.
They're getting real ballsy now.
Yeah.
They're gonna be. They gotta watch out. They'll be like the Walmart of the media world if they
That's
don't
what I
be
was
careful.
just thinking.
I work at Walmart and it sucks.
Walmart.
That's it. That's what I think about that.
I
Oh,
cannot stand
gross.
Walmart. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, don't be sorry. I can't stand it either. I'm
I,
there for 9 hours a day and it sucks.
I had several friends that worked at Walmart, and I swore to myself that if Walmart was my last option for employment, I would just be unemployed.
Oh, I totally agree.
Is it really that bad?
It's it's not necessarily that it's awful. I think it's more of an issue of there's at our store at least. I mean, there's protocols as a big company that you as the stores have to follow. So, I mean, the managers have to follow certain things. They have to do things a certain way because they represent a portion of a larger company.
And
So,
any
I
company
think
has
I
to be
can
like
see some of
that.
the dilemma. But that being said, when we lose about 3 supervisors in January, along with 5 part-time people in February, I mean, that's got to be said for something. It's not just a high turnover rate. I just feel like there's a lack of communication with the managers and us, and they just don't really care. I mean, previous jobs I've had, the managerial presence was always there, so the managers always noticed when things were good and things were bad, or when you needed improvement, or when you were doing great. So you always got feedback on your work, and it was really validating. Because in general, I like to think of myself as a good worker, but I always feel like the managers at my Walmart always notice when I'm doing something remotely bad, and that's, yeah. But on the bigger Walmart scale, they actually shut down requests in Quebec for a union. So, yeah, Walmart people. But
Walmart's just a terrible company at this point.
Well, and it's not just Walmart. From every experience I've heard of big companies like that, that you just have this sense of impersonableness, or if I don't, that's not a word. I'm just making words up now. But
No, I
it's just so big that there is no personal contact between the owner of the owner of the company and the ideals they originally set forth, and then the people that actually go to work on it. And that's why they have such a high turnover rate, because it's just this big faceless entity that consumes people and spits them back out without really giving
Well,
two
yeah,
shits.
I mean,
That's why I love doing what I do, though, is because daily I talk to the lowest person in my company, like just because I can, and things get communicated better, and it's amazing.
Well, here in the U.S., Walmart is, they're the business model here is just really bad because, they pay a lot of their employees close to minimum wage for one. They work them as many hours as they can without having to offer them benefits. So I think the cutoff is 30, 35 hours. They work just under that, a few hours under that, so they
Yeah.
don't have to pay them, offer them
Yeah,
benefits.
they'll work 34.5
Yep.
hours, and then if they do hit a full-time hours, then they get written up for
Yeah.
hitting that many hours.
The other thing that really gets
Yeah.
me is that there was a study recently done. There was a documentary that came out a couple years ago that I watched that just kind of baffled me that, in a lot of the stores in the break rooms now, they have postages for information about how to obtain government assistance. So basically, what this company is, they're getting a kind of an under-the-table tax cut because they offer products at such a low price that people want to shop there because it's a good deal. And I understand that. I get that. But where in Business 101 they teach you, the first day you go into Business 101, the professor writes on the board, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Meaning, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what happens, at some
Mm-hmm.
point, someone is going to pay for that item, that meal, that service. And basically, it ends up coming back to all taxpayers because I think the study said something like 30% of the non full-time employees for Walmart qualify and get government assistance, and that just makes me angry. I mean, I understand
It
it's a
just breaks
job, and
you.
in a struggling environment, people need work, and I get that, but they're just taking advantage of it, man. And I really think that Sam Walton would probably roll over in his grave if he knew what was going on with this company.
Oh yeah, I totally
Absolutely.
agree.
I think the South Park episode about Walmart really like hit home.
Oh, that's such a great episode.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I haven't seen that episode.
It's called Something Walmart This Way Comes. You got to watch it, man.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
I'm gonna
It's
find
it's
it
like this
after this.
giant behemoth that can't be destroyed. They burn it down and it comes right back.
It's like Event Horizon. It's sentient. It has its own feelings and emotions, and it controls you, and it makes
Sounds
people
like
that
a bad
oppose
start
Walmart
to a video game.
want to kill themselves.
Midnight hour, man.
Like, you can't stop the Walmart. No. That is kind of alarming, though. If you think about the like business structure in general, every business has a birth, a series of growth, and then it eventually dies. Every
It
single
just like
business
stops,
on the face of the
basically.
planet follows this model. So what happens when Walmart finally dies? Like, is it just going to be like a fizzling out, or will it be all of a sudden like, oh, by the
No,
way, we're
since
bankrupt?
I
there's
don't know, but I will
so
have a party.
no, since there's so many, it will be this big collective nuclear strike that's what will start World War III.
Walmart would be
So
responsible
not
for
not a
World War
lack of
III.
natural resources, but a lack of
Oh hell,
Walmart.
that would be so ironic. Like literally, Walmart will have destroyed the world.
But not in the way everyone intended it.
We're
Everyone says
taking you with
Walmart's going to
us.
destroy the world, but not that way. Just because it goes out of existence, that's what's going to
Hmm.
happen. That's pretty funny. I mean, it's scary but funny.
It really is scary though that something like that can really start something that terrible.
Here would be Chazo saying something about a sunspot that apparently gets Indy really upset.
No.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I heard a
I'm
little bit
so
about it
pissed
on the
off about
news.
that.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off about that. You know why?
Why?
I'm
Why
out
I'm
of the
pissed off
sun,
about
guys.
that? Because up in the Northwest Territories, we have something beautiful. We have a
Auroras.
phenomenon. We
Oh,
get
yeah.
something. The aurora borealis, mofos, and
Yeah.
you know what? That big sunspot, it's not even really a big deal. What the big deal about it is that what happens for the auroras, what happens is whenever the sun gives off flares or there's sun storms, what basically happens is that the neurons and whatever from that and the gases, they react with our atmosphere, and that's how we think that the auroras are made. No one has a straight answer on it, but that's basically the best hypothesis we have. So the day of that sunspot, it was the 15th, and it takes time to travel. So it happened on the 15th, and the 16th, it was supposed to be here that night. And the night before, I had auroras up. We'll put the one photo that I had in the link dump for my Flickr profile. But there was like greens and reds, and it was beautiful. And it was supposed to be even more intense the next day. So I stayed up until 2 in the morning waiting for these auroras. They're
Oh.
usually out by like 10 o'clock at night.
She
of
made it
course.
personal this
So
time.
I made it freaking personal.
The sun is
Yeah.
not intentionally after you to ruin your enjoyment of the auroras.
Yes, yes. I waited up until 2 in the morning and nothing, not a streak in the sky. And I went to bed so sad that night.
You have to
and
call
I had to be at
shenanigans
work.
on the sun.
Damn
It
you,
also, like, called me
son!
yesterday, like 2 a.m.
And I had to be at Walmart at 7:30 the next day, and I
Yeah.
was just in the shittiest mood.
Yo,
Yeah, at that point in time, you just realize, you know what? I'm not getting out of bed this morning. I fail at life. Let's just try again tomorrow morning.
Yeah, let's just start over.
everyone
A
has
brand
those
new
days.
day.
I've had a couple days like that where it's just like, oh hell, everything just seems so horrible right now. I just need to stay in bed, call in sick, and try it again tomorrow and hit the reset button. Yep. and it tends to work pretty well.
Yeah, I actually took 2 days off this week. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I need a few days just to reset. So I just said, you know what, guys? I'm taking a few sick days. I have plenty of them. Stayed home, played a shitload of Far Cry 3, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to work now. And I got back to work. There's 40 emails. I'm like, I'm ready to go back home now. Yeah.
No, you go back to work. You go
I
back
left
to
work
everything's
early
on
Thursday.
fire.
It was chaos.
Oh, I actually had to switch work days with one of my coworkers because I was actually supposed to be working today, and I had to have it off so I could do that filming thing. So I'm just glad I have coworkers that are willing to work with me on that. It's really
It's
handy.
really
Yeah,
nice
I
to
saw
have
that on
people
your
like that.
profile. What was the filming thing? What was it?
Yes, explain your cooking.
Well, my
Yeah, it's on a need to know basis. Orders from the top.
The world needs to know, Dark.
Why aren't you telling us yet? Why aren't you telling us yet?
So there's a show and cooking happens on it, and there's a lot of sexual references mixed with the cooking. Yeah, so yeah.
Jeez, where do I sign up?
Okay, so my friend Danny and I, she's my best friend. We did this like a little reality TV skit thing with my ex-boyfriend a few years ago, and after we broke up, we obviously stopped doing the little show. And about a year after that, Danny, she says to me, she's like, I miss being able to record our show. Like, we need to come up with something different. So I thought about it for a while. I'm like, well, Danny doesn't know a damn thing about cooking. So it could be really fun for us to do a cooking show where she just kind of accidentally sets shit on fire. Because she's got a big personality. So that's kind of how the idea started. So we used my tiny little kitchen in my apartment, and one episode we cooked banana bread, and another one we cooked a birthday cake for my sister. And it's
Ooh, I
just
love
kind of
banana bread.
us shooting banter back and forth, and we just happen to cook something and give you the recipe while we cook it. We don't really care too much about the cooking. So one of my friends, he owns a independent film company called Second Glance Productions, and I played an extra in one of his other films that he had done. And so he saw mine and Danny's little cooking show. He's like, hey, so I've been approached with this idea that we're going to pitch to Food Network, where they're going to go up and down the coast and have the the firemen who host those big cookout things that they do. Um, they're
Yeah.
they're famous for the food that they make because they have so much downtime in between fires. So they're going to go up and down the coast and visit all these firehouses and interview them for the recipes and things like that. And he says, but the problem is I have never done anything for TV. So you kind of do stuff with food. Would you be our guinea pig for a pre-pilot episode to this that we can make all of our mistakes with before we actually shoot the pilot episode that we want to pitch to the network? And like, so you mean we're gonna have like a full crew? And they're like, yeah, camera crew, lighting crew, makeup, and we're gonna have a kitchen for you guys to work in. I'm like, well, hell yeah, let's do it. And
No, you
I
just
mean, why not?
yeah, exactly.
just say no and then throw everything down.
So that has been in the works for a few months now, because we have had scheduling issues and he had to locate a kitchen. So yeah, finally after a couple months we did it today, and like literally I'm sitting on the couch. I'm absolutely exhausted. I didn't even think that I would be able to make this podcast, but we finished filming 2 hours ahead of schedule. So that's the only
That's
reason I'm
good.
actually here right now. And I'm super, super excited to see how this comes together. Danny and I were both like paranoid. We've never had so many people just staring at us while we try to do our thing. Like literally,
Did you have any?
I have.
Wait, did you have any outtakes?
the whole show is
Outtake.
like outtakes. It's just after we got comfortable, we actually had some of them laughing so hard that they had to leave the room while we were recording because they can't make noise when you're recording. So we're like looking at each other like, well, at least they think we're funny, so we must be doing something right.
And it helps you gain a respect for these shows that have to deal with, they have to act naturally. These cooking shows, talk shows, any of those type of not reality shows, but the the specialty shows where
Oh
they have
yeah.
to deal with a crew all around them and they have to be natural and at the same time not be so nervous to where they showcase their expertise. Like if it's a house repair show, a cooking show, they can't just start focusing on, oh my god, I got 30 people watching me, oh my god, oh my
Yeah,
god, oh my
I,
god.
I got that. It was so weird. It just kind of, there was a moment where it just kind of clicked in my head. The first thing we did was a lasagna recipe, and so we're both really kind of nervous about it and uptight, and we kind of loosen up as it goes on, and then we switched to a couple other recipes, and they don't shoot in order either. That's the other weird thing. So we actually did the closing statement before lunchtime, and then had to do more of the recipes afterwards. Um, but it was right probably halfway through the lasagna recipe we really started to loosen up and not really even notice the rest of the crew there. And it just kind of, I don't know how to describe the change. It just suddenly goes from like you just kind of feel like you're surrounded by friends instead of these people that you've never met before. They just kind of blend in the background because they're all like supporting you. And wow, I have a newfound respect for the lighting crew.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Like we literally had like 7 booms in front of the perfectly good windows, and they had some outside the windows piping in different types of light, and they put these different colors of yellow and red and cellophane in front of the lights. And Danny and I had to sit there in the kitchen facing these different directions as they try all these different shades of light. And the guy who's directing us. I'm like, he's just got this real commanding voice, like, okay, now move over here, turn this way. No, no, take a step back. No, 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 no. I'm like, Danny, he's kind of scary. And so, like, every time I hear him shouting at someone in the background, I'm like, holy shit, am I not in the spot I'm supposed to be at?
You walk out of the frame in the middle of the show.
I did, yeah. I did actually theater lighting tech for a few years of high school, and oh my god, the crap you go through when you're doing that job is unbelievable. So it's nice to hear that you now respect people who have done lighting.
Well, yeah, they're like the unsung
'Cause it is a
heroes.
crappy-
Like, because the makeup art that they do is like worthless without the proper lighting.
Yeah, you're right. Lighting and
Yeah,
gaffers are very underappreciated. They really are.
Oh, and something else I didn't realize, like Anthony, who is the owner of the company and the director, he didn't tell me that you cannot wear white because it just plays
I saw
hell
this.
on the lighting. And so I wore a white
Yeah.
shirt, and he's like, "Oh no, that's not going to work." And I'm like, "Well, I just drove 45 minutes to get here. I can't just turn around and go back and get a new shirt." And so the guy that owns the house, he was there, and he's like, "Well, I might have something for you." And this is a nice house, so the guy's got a lot of money. So his wardrobe is all these really nice shirts. I'm like, "We're doing a cooking show, making lasagna. I don't want to wear one of your polos or one of your button-up shirts because if I ruin it, I'm going to feel really bad."
No, you should have. You have like these fancy tuxedo on next to her and whatever she has.
So I wind up just wearing this old ratty like green shirt. He's like, "Well, this one doesn't really fit me anymore, so I wouldn't care if you ruined this one. You can wear this one." I'm like, "Great." So it's kind of like a poncho on me. And I'm like, "Wow, this is really sad. This wasn't how I envisioned this going at all."
Is it gonna be noticeably baggy on the show?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm having a really bad wardrobe malfunction the whole thing, but it's okay.
They're gonna change the
Oh,
title to
boy.
"Cooking with a Homeless Guy."
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
do you know when this will be up, Dark?
No, I don't know the exact time. I asked Anthony that when he was doing our closing interview, and he said it depends on um, the guy and his crew that actually develops all the film. He's got a couple other projects going on, so it may be as soon as a few weeks to probably up to 2 months. It all just depends on his schedule.
I'll look for it. I'm on the Food Network all the time, so I can
Well,
keep an
this
eye
isn't
out.
going to actually air on the network. This is like a pre-pilot. So Danny and I are actually going to be able to have this copy to post on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's good, man. You have a produced demo, in case you ever wanna expand
Well, you
outward.
never know. The Food Network, if
Yeah.
they happen to come across your video, could be like, "You seem better than the guy we were originally going to cast for this.
Well,
Do you want to
Exactly.
have a job in?"
yeah, our show is like nothing like the show that they're wanting to cast. it was just like the most convenient thing that Anthony could grab a hold of. He's like, yeah, you're willing to work for free. I'm willing to not pay you and give you our resources. So how about it? The context is completely not what he was looking for.
Oh, there went
We
Eileen.
we lost Indy.
Indy has
Oh, she's
left
completely
us.
offline.
Hey guys, my couch is now broken.
You broke your couch?
It broke while I was sitting on it.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have been, had a
And
friend
that is the
over.
only quiet couch near me.
Quiet couch?
I'm kind of standing, walking around right now.
Your couches talk to you? Are you hearing?
No,
Are you hearing
like,
voices,
I have another
Wes?
couch right here, but it makes sounds at the smallest movement.
Okay.
So
If you're hearing voices coming from your couch, that's what they call schizophrenia, and they have prescribed medication you can take for that.
now, do you want me to make the sound and ruin the audio on my thing right now?
It can't be any worse than what Indy
No,
was
it
giving
won't.
us.
wonder
It
if-
won't.
I wonder
It
if the
won't
mic will
ruin
pick
the
this up.
audio.
If
What
not,
it'll
I'm
do
good.
is it'll make Zafty have an extra job to do.
This is true.
Okay, well,
Someone should write Indy a message and let her know to keep her audio. Like
nah, he needs it.
we still need it.
I'll send her a message
Well,
right
Zapty
now.
needs it.
Zapty, we
Wow, this
apologize
took
for
an
the
awkward
inconvenience.
moment.
We once again are suffering technical difficulties during our podcast.
Don't worry.
Another
Fusion was trying
large
to help me figure out my audio earlier.
another large section to cut out.
It really is an interesting disaster. We are plagued with these technical glitches like every podcast.
I
I mean, it would help if I was like standing next to others when trying
like if
to
we were
set
in
up.
the same room, it would be a lot easier.
Well, that brings up a good question. For those that are, for those that are going to RTX, maybe we should do it's not like it's a big deal, but we should do like a in-person podcast. What do you guys think?
I think
Yeah.
we were talking about doing that already, right?
Oh, were you guys?
Yeah,
I may have not
We
seen
can
it.
all find like
Spill the
choose
beans.
a hotel room to meet up in, and then we
Yeah.
can do it live from there.
That sounds kind of skanky.
So did Noboat ever figure out where he's staying?
I don't think so.
Well, here's my situation. I have a
there
room,
she-
a double room, but the thing is, I may have my nephew going with me. But Nobe is not 18,
Nobe.
and I have I'm real nervous about having. I know he's probably going to listen at some point, and that's fine. It's nothing against you, Nobe, but
It is
my
against you.
fear
It's
is-
personal. Don't
yeah,
let him lie
you
to
know what? Dark doesn't like you. He's said that on several occasions. So you
He
can
knows
take it
I
up with
can't
him.
stand him.
My worry is he's under 18 and he's gonna be under 18 by the time RTX comes around. He says he's gonna, talk his dad into letting him go. I can't have that responsibility. If
That's true.
Yeah.
I couldn't let him stay with me. Like, I mean, I'm sure he's a good person. I don't want to say kid because then I sound like an old fart, but I'm sure he's a good guy, man. And he can work out his arrangements. But like I said, there's maybe a situation where I may have my room opened up. But if that's the case, I'm just switching back over to a single king because I just don't want to have any. I get
You don't
kind of
wanna deal
worried
with
of that,
people.
of just having someone else there and then, having to be responsible for them too on my card. That kind of worries me.
Oh yeah,
Especially with
that's
everybody drinking booze
And
all
that's
weekend.
totally
perfectly
understandable.
reasonable.
So, like I said, I'm sure he's going to listen at some point if he wants to throw a fit. You know what, man? I'm sorry. If you make it over there, I have no problem buying you lunch, man, or sushi like we had talked about, because there's plenty of good sushi places in Austin. But
There really are.
so,
This is the first time I'm going to say this, but my company is thinking on going to RTX in a couple years and setting up a booth.
Oh,
That'd
If
be
we
fun.
can.
that's all sorts of awesome, actually.
Yeah, I know. I really want this to happen, but I don't know how that's going to fit into our actually making the thing schedule.
Well, whenever you start getting out some of the other games and such, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome too, but we need something to have there, I guess.
You can just show up with big
Well, you can
ideas,
just
and
you can just stand around and say, "Well, we're working on
that's
it."
what everybody else
Yeah.
does.
Just have a computer that's just turned off.
And just sit there
I'll
with a case
autograph
of beer and
things
just
if
start.
that counts for
Yeah.
anything.
Just say I will autograph stuff on your shirt.
We'll autograph for free.
Well, there you go.
Oh, we need that.
I've actually
I
thought about that.
saw that.
That's one of the reasons why I was trying to get a logo for us, is I wanted to have make T-shirts with that had the Rooster Teeth logo and then the Guild of the Henge logo underneath it, and give them to anybody that wanted them.
I'd do it.
And there's several websites that will let you make like custom designed T-shirts and print them out for like next to nothing, really.
I've looked on those websites for personal reasons, and I know a guy here in my town that does it for way cheaper than they do. Like, it's usually like, I want to say like $5 a shirt max on the internet,
Oh
or like minimum on the internet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can find a guy that does it for like $2 a shirt.
Well, hell, you should PM that to me then. I would be glad to throw
He
some
doesn't
business his way.
really have contacts, but
Oh, well.
you have to walk into his store and say, "This is what I want."
Well, considering the distance between here and Texas, I don't think I'll be
Texas is
Tennessee.
walking that direction until RTX.
Well,
Hey,
you can
Dark, I'm
start
back in
walking now. You
Tennessee
might
this
make it by
time.
then.
I couldn't hear anything that he said.
Wait, what?
I think he just died.
Who did?
Did we lose Wes?
Wes. I
No,
think
I'm
Wes
still
is dead.
here.
Wes, are you dead?
Can you hear
No,
me?
he's still alive. Okay.
No.
I'm not dead.
That's a relief.
Well, speaking of Texas, Wes, you actually were down for South by Southwest last week, weren't you? Or am I
Not for
getting
South by
confused?
Southwest. I was down there for
But you were
business, but-
you were in Austin, right? During South by Southwest.
Yeah, I was in Austin.
How was it?
It was amazing. I actually woke up at 8 a.m. to wait in line for Franklin
Ew.
Barbecue.
Ah, yes,
It
the
was
Franklin
an
barbecue.
awesome
Yes.
experience.
In case you guys don't know, the Franklin's barbecue it was voted last year the #1 barbecue place in the country in the Zagat. This
That's how I
place
found
is
it.
it's supposedly the best barbecue around. They open up at, I do believe, 10 o'clock, and then they usually there's a line outside the door every day, and then they shut down when they're out of food. So if
Wow.
And they will tell people after a
Yep.
certain point, you are waiting at your
Yep.
own risk. You might
Exactly.
not
What
get food.
style of
And-
barbecue do they use? Is it
it's just hill country.
Texas style barbecue.
Yeah, hill
is
country
it,
style
is it the
barbecue.
sweeter stuff? I
No.
can't talk.
That's the peppery.
'Cause
It's
I've heard that-
slow cooked with pecan and mesquite, on that style.
Yeah.
And it's not sweet. You can get
Oh,
sauces that are
barbecue.
sweet and spicy, but the brisket and the ribs are awesome there. And I can tell you this,
Best brisket I've ever had.
I can tell you this now. Here's a trick to Franklin's. If you're coming into town, you call in 3 days early for a pickup order with a minimum of 3 pounds, and you can just walk right up and avoid the line and pick up your food. So what I plan on doing is, because I do want to have Franklin's at some point. Either I'll be coming in probably on the 4th of July that morning, but it may be, if I don't have anything planned that day, if Franklin's is open, then I'm going to call in an order and maybe order like 5-6 pounds of barbecue, and then have a few people, if they want to, have some, join in and have it, enjoy it, because it's really good barbecue, it really is.
It's like nothing else I've ever had before. So
It sounds really good.
It's beef brisket.
They have pork and turkey, but it's mostly
Yeah, the beef, it's the ribs and the brisket, the beef brisket, that are like unbelievable. And also, I don't know if any of you guys are going to the side quest events, but if you purchase a badge, they're having a go away luncheon on Monday afternoon at the Salt Lick. It's about 10-15 minutes
I went
outside
there
of
too.
Austin. That place is unbelievable. They cook the food like out in the open, slow cook it all day, and it's all you can eat. So you have like a 3 or 4 hour window. You sit down, BYOB, you can bring your own coolers, and the peach cobbler is good, the ribs are good. The Salt Lick is my favorite place. I loved Franklin's, but I love the Salt Lick, and I can't wait for that on Monday.
So is it in or around Austin?
It's
or,
about-
or-
It's in
No, it's in
Round Rock.
it's in Dripping Springs. It's
Okay.
about 15 minutes
Oh,
west
they have
outside of
another
town in the
location.
country.
I went to the one up north of Austin in
Oh,
Round Rock.
yeah, the
and it
365
was-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's good.
Liked it.
It's just it's not. You could tell it's not the same as the original
It's
place.
nowhere close to what I heard about when I heard about Salt Lake.
Yeah. And of course, I mean that's the main thing. There's so many good, awesome places to eat over there that you have options that are not chain. A lot of independently owned places that are really good. So that's
Yeah, I mean, I've been down there a whole bunch, and there's so many restaurants that I haven't even tried yet, even though I've been in Austin many, many times.
This
So
may
I mean,
sound ridiculous, but when I was at Franklin's, I was with one of my coworkers. He was down there with me, and we spent about $100 just for our lunch. And we ate about half of it and offered it to the people who were behind the last man standing in line.
oh, that's cool. That's cool of you guys to do that because, I mean, it's like a hit or miss for people that don't call in orders in advance.
Yeah, I was like sixth in line, so I got really lucky.
wow.
There
I've
she-
returned from the
there
dead.
she
She's
is.
alive!
Hi!
Oh my god,
I'm
it's a ghost.
alive!
We have the maple leaf back, folks. We have
And
it back.
you
even
do.
though, even though her computer crashed, the beginning audio was still saved.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
That's not bad.
I was actually intending to use just my stock sound recorder that came with my laptop, or well, with Ubuntu, I should say. But I made a last-minute decision to really quickly download Audacity from the software center, and I did not know this, but Audacity will auto-recover your audio for you in the event of
Oh,
a
that's
crash.
awesome.
So, thank you. You know what? Round of applause for friggin' Audacity, dude. Yeah, great devs.
So,
I love.
I know
people-
Audacity's awesome, but is there like a better version
Oh.
of
Oh.
some voice recording?
That's like
Adobe
saying
Audition.
to a woman, you're pretty, but this other person, she's much more pretty.
Yeah, you're like, that girl has bigger boobs,
Oh,
so I'm
oh.
gonna go over there.
Never underestimate a program's ability to hear what you're saying. They know.
Did everyone happen to see the new Ruby trailer?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It
I watched it
was-
on my Xbox.
And I definitely wasn't the only one that noticed it, but why did they have not very good voice?
Yeah, Adam, the character Adam, I thought his voice overworked, sounded really, I'm gonna be honest, shitty. It didn't sound very
Yeah,
good.
it really was.
Like compared to some of the others, I mean, I know they record in their own booths now, and the sound quality has gotten a lot better over the years with their stuff, but it just didn't sound genuine. It sounded like it was on basically like a cheap microphone to me. I didn't like it, and plus he just didn't sound very good as a voice actor.
How do you know his name? Is it ever? Oh, wait,
There's
it's
a
probably
there's a
just
Ruby
mentioned.
wiki already up, and
Wow.
someone's just throwing
You are
everything
such a
up as-
nerd.
I know. I like to do my
Oh, I
research
saw the
before
link
I
to
do
that on
stuff.
Rooster Teeth somewhere. Somebody
I
posted it.
found the wiki a little while ago because I wanted to make sure that the black character, her name is Blake Belladonna.
I was hoping
How do people
that
figure this out?
I was hoping that the bow on top of her head would have been some sort of cat ears.
Of course you would.
The website is rubywikia.com, rwby.wikia.com. And
How many pages are on the Wikia?
let's see, I haven't even
What is-
not many.
What is the show
Well,
actually
yeah, I
about?
mean,
Do you know?
no, so far it seems like it's going to be like this adventure type tale
They
about
really have not said
Yeah,
much
I
about
hope
it.
it actually
About,
is
you know,
pretty
4
good because I've
people.
not been impressed with the trailers. Like visually, the style is unique for something that Rooster Teeth's produced, but it's like and they're each like
It doesn't
action
feel like an
sequences
anime.
but they are like action sequences from an anime where you have these unstoppable characters and you're like, okay, that was pretty, but what's this about? I don't just want to watch something that's got pretty fight sequences.
well, I think
What bothers
that
me is the rose petals. Like, I understand they're trying to like connect all of them with the rose petals, but those rose petals just look like red blobs. Like they have no texture to them. To me,
Oh,
well,
I
maybe
knew what
it's
it was.
supposed to look like that. It's like a sort of visual style. The Japanese type.
Yeah,
Just
it's
everything
it's
dissolving.
Montiome putting his stamp on his version of anime. That's what that is.
it just bothers me because I help design things, and it It's visually wrong to me.
He could have made
Well,
superior
it's
rose
like
petals.
it's gonna be like one of the. I don't think I know. Well, there's definitely others out there, but it's one of the few like 3D ones. Most of them are like
Yeah, most of them are
cartoonish.
2D.
Oh, I figured out what the art style reminds me a lot of. Has anybody seen that anime movie called Appleseed?
Yes.
No, but I've heard of it.
That's what the art style reminds me a lot of. A like lower quality version of that.
For me, the art style reminds me of the game Okami.
I never played Okami, so I can't really draw the reference there.
I've seen art from Okami, if that means anything.
Yeah, like when you defeat something, it like dissolves into petals and flowers.
That's to make
So
it
it's like
more
in Halo
kid-friendly.
4 when you
can
get shot with Promethean weapons.
you just
You just like
fizzle into
go
little
away.
blobs of light.
That bothers me because I can't teabag people when I kill them with Forerunner weapons. It legitimately makes me sad. I will teabag the spot where the knight died, where it has like the little like floaty air ball.
That is a sign of true desperation.
He's like, just dry hump something.
You're like, I'm just sexually frustrated. Ah!
Get it out!
The consensus is that those that have seen the Black trailer haven't been very impressed. I think it, and I agree. I mean, the animation looks promising, but the storyline just looks kind of like, what's going on? We really don't know.
Yeah, my
I
favorite
hear
one.
a lot
I'm
of
just
people
really
like the
hoping-
white trailer though.
You know
Like,
what almost would have
white
been
is
better
good.
is if they had included them talking, but instead of having voices, just had nothing and then had subtitles over it.
It would have been
And then
much
it would have
better.
just
Now you're just trying to get into like a weird, snooty indie art film thing. Nah, I'm glad they didn't do that. Like
no. I mean, that way you wouldn't have known what their voices might sound like until the actual, release of the show. I do think it's funny how he chose to have commercials that are just kind of showing off the action sequences
And he
versus
keeps saying
any
it's not
plot points
action.
whatsoever.
Like Monty
Yeah.
will constantly say it's not an action series, but every trailer's been pure action basically.
is he pulling a J.J. Abrams on us?
That also makes me wonder if like the whole bunch of the main season is going to be like we already know all the main action sequences basically from the
Yeah.
Unless the
show.
trailers are like prequels of like battles that they have been in, and they'll just reference in the actual show.
Like with Adam or whatever his name
or
is.
it might just
Well,
not have anything to do with it at all and just be kind of there just to show off.
That I'll be really disappointed if
guess.
they do that. That seems like a really stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know what, guys? Honestly, I really, really hope that it doesn't go down like the Sucker Punch route, where it's just pretty girls fighting. That's all it is. I really don't see the appeal in it.
Actually,
I really don't. I mean,
like-
they're sexy.
That's
it's great,
because
but
you're a woman.
No, wait, well,
no. I like sexy, attractive women. It's great, but it's
go
just
on.
I don't want them. Yes, I'm into females. Fine. Yeah, you got me. But I just hope it doesn't go down that route where it's like all action and there's virtually nothing to really think about. Like, if I'm going to expect anything from Rooster Teeth, it's going to be content that is going to leave me thinking about something about the end of the day. I really believe that they have the ability to give us that content. I just really don't want it to go down this route where it's just, oh, hey, action sequence, da-da-da, and, just really crappy plot. I'll be super disappointed.
I don't know. I really enjoyed
wanna
the plot to
see good
Sucker
plot.
Punch. It's got layers to it that are not as evident when you just kind of watch it just for the like. If you watch it and just see the action, they have that. But like each of the action sequences is part of its own narrative, and the whole idea is incredibly like anti-male in a lot of ways. And the fact that they have the sexiness and the sex appeal on the women, and the men are all these horrible, like disfigured, like gross guys, and that's exactly the type of people that go to see these films in the theater. And the show's pretty much saying, yeah, see these perverts here that we're making fun of. Those are you, the audience, who's come to see this. Like literally,
Yeah,
that's
I like that.
that's what the whole thing is saying. Like, the point is, the only people that come to watch these types of movies are the sick perverts that can't get laid in real life, and they have to go and pay to see booty. So I actually
I
really
can't
liked
get
that
laid in real
message.
life.
It's not like they can't see booty on the internet for free or anything.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit less relevant now that we have the internet, but I admire. I don't think they succeeded in what they were trying to accomplish very well, but I do like where their intentions were. I think ultimately it was a good message, and I'd like to see someone pull that off, like, and not land on their face like
It was
they
a
did.
good premise that just wasn't written very well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, where everyone's kind of saying the same thing with Ruby, is that if Monty's going around saying this isn't an action series, then your three trailers up to this point have been nothing but action. And
Yeah, what I was thinking is when they did I think the first one was going to be, the initial thing, and I thought they were going to do like, story points and like tales of the actual thing
Yeah.
in the other ones. Like each one was going to be individual. The first two were very, very similar, just kind of with different beginnings.
My favorite so far has to be the first one, the red trailer with the werewolf thing. That actually got me interested in the show itself. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of bizarre and like almost like a warped version of Little Red Riding Hood if she was.
that's exactly what I thought when I saw
Yeah,
it
that's
too.
what I thought when I found it.
And then, yeah, then the next one came out, and then the next one came out. And I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of lost now. I'll pay. I'll probably watch the first few episodes, and if it really doesn't draw me in, I'll just kind of brush off the whole
That's what
thing.
I do with TV shows. Like, give it 3 strikes and it's done.
Sometimes I don't even have the patience to wait that many episodes. If the pilot episode is not interesting enough to grab my attention, then I'm not gonna stick around for the rest of it.
Well, sometimes the first few episodes of something, or even the first season, can be horrible, but the rest of it
Like Breaking
can
Bad.
be wonderful, the best show ever. But sometimes it just, like a car not starting properly, and you're trying to turn it. It just takes a little bit more turns to get it revving, and then it's a race car.
Well, if
agree.
that's the case, then I would just like skip to the next season, or if someone's talking about something like that, then I would take their word for it and watch it, a year or so later after it's gotten a following and all of that.
And that's what I tell people when they watch Breaking Bad. Like, I recommend it. I love the show. I think it's a great show. I say you have to just toil through the first season. It's only 6 episodes. Once you get past that, which is kind of just, it defines the characters and the situation and the whole premise. After that, from season 2 on, it's nonstop. Like, what the fuck am I
How
watching?
long is Breaking Bad? I've been meaning to catch up
They're
on
in the 4th season now, and it's the second half of it. The last 6-7 episodes, they're going to start airing again in June. So they took a break like in November. So
Novembre.
yeah, and then later this summer they're going to kick back the rest of and they're going to finish it off. Like I said, it's a great show, but you have to get past that first season. My wife and I were watching it on Netflix, and she just couldn't get into it, and stepped away. Like, I can't watch this. Is boring. And I got through the first season, and then she watched a couple of them, and then we got to season 2. After that, it was just like, holy crap, this is a really good show. It really is.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah, that's why, like, in games and stuff, I usually like to, even if the first game wasn't that good, I'd like to go back and play that, because it's always stuff you'll miss, and the experience will always be different.
Exactly.
Or what I'll do with if it's an older game that I don't really want to play, I'll just watch a good Let's Play.
There you go.
Like Daggerfall.
I've actually had to do that with Ken because he doesn't have the thumbs to really play a game on Xbox. So like with Portal and Portal 2, I just sat down and we watched a Let's Play just because I'm constantly like quoting online, especially with Chaos, like quotes from Portal. And then I'll be talking about it and quoting stuff from Portal to him, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "Okay, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch this." And so he's never actually played the game, but he's watched the game from beginning to end, and is actually like fallen in love with Gladys's character. So it just works that way.
I had to give up on Portal 2.
I'm pretty sure you could download it off of the Xbox Marketplace, can you?
Yeah, I could not finish it. It's
Finish
not because
what?
the story was bad, it's because I don't have the patience to get through Portal 2.
You, sir, have lost cool points.
Well, I mean,
I may have to give you the silent treatment.
Well, I'm
it's
your
one of those.
apprentice, so it's gonna be kind
At
of
least
hard.
it's one of those games where I would know I wouldn't get lost because some games I just don't know where to do or what to do or where to go. But with that one, at least the whole thing is about solving the puzzle.
Yeah, and it's basically a straight line mostly. Like you have like the hallways and the raising platforms or whatever to like guide you along.
Well, the Portal 2 is like three Portal 1s put together. It has a feeling of being three distinct games. You have the first act, which is very much like the first Portal, and then you have the second act, which like takes you behind the scenes, and you have like you're introduced to like the different gels,
No, that's alright.
and
That's
everything
cool.
looks a lot different because you're like in the old section of Aperture instead of the shiny new Aperture. And Gladys is in a potato, so you hear the Cave Johnson's voice instead of hers. And then you get back to the new, but it's Wheatley instead of the other two. So to me, it was like a special treat. It was like I got three Portal games into one instead of just one big long game.
Yeah.
That really added a lot of value to me.
I mean, I totally appreciate that. It's just I am not a patient person, and I just cannot sit there and play through Portal 2.
Oh, go jump off a cliff or something. You're miserable
Like
twat.
I had to sell the DVD. I had to sell the CD or whatever the disc
The disc.
because I just didn't want to stare at it. I couldn't look at it.
You developed
make
software, right?
Yeah. Well, that's
It does not inspire a lot of confidence.
He's like, the little round things that you put into the machine.
I knew I was screwed in Portal 2 and I couldn't get past the first room.
Wow.
It took me a week and
Okay.
Google to figure out how to get past the first
I
room.
wouldn't have admitted to that on this podcast because if you couldn't get through the first level and then you quit, you wound up quitting the game.
No. I made it past it eventually, but I had the help of Google and
Oh,
it just turned out bad.
you sir. I guess some people just were not born to solve lateral thinking puzzles.
I am terrible at video games. I'll be the first to admit it. I just I I will play Halo against someone and just be terrible. Is it sad I still have a PS2 in my room?
No, it was a great
Like,
device.
I never upgraded to the PS3. I still have my PS2.
Right now, I have the original Xbox, a GameCube, and a PS2 in my actual room.
I still have my original Xbox. It's in my closet collecting dust.
I'm gonna be honest, I never had an original Xbox. I later bought one after
This is
I
one of
bought
the
an Xbox 360.
This is one of the original launch Xboxes. It actually did not kill itself. Yeah. So
Do not turn
Is
that
it
thing
is
on.
it is it still is it still operable?
Yeah, I at my last apartment, I actually had it hooked up to this TV. I had no place to put it since moving to this apartment, so it just lives in the closet now. But
Did
yeah,
the
at
original
least
Xbox, you have a first run? Did it have network access? I don't remember.
Yes.
They did. That's where Xbox Live came from.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. It was so awesome. I actually went to school and worked at a tech center in Benton Harbor when I lived in Michigan, and people would bring in their old tube TVs after they were broken. Well, it's easy to fix a tube TV, so we would fix them and then pay the school $5 to take it home. And so I got one for each of my friends, and so we all had these little 32-inch TVs that weighed a ton, but we each had our own. So over the weekends when we'd go over to each other's house, we'd each bring our own Xbox and we'd each bring our own TV, and we would bring sheets so we could hang them up in the room so no one could screen peep at the other while we played Halo 2. And
That's just like
and there was this
obsessive, Dark.
what?
What?
I thought you said my name.
Yeah, I said that's kind of obsessive.
Kind of, but no, we take
It's
we
fun.
take our death we took our death matches very seriously. I actually taught my sister to play Halo that way.
Whoever had the lowest score was immediately
I will
executed.
admit, Halo 2 had the best, in my opinion, online maps for those matches.
I
I
loved
love
Halo
I
2.
love the online the big team battles for Halo 2. I don't like them now because with Halo 4 it's the big team battle is just Slayer, but you had everything in the mix when you had big team battle in Halo 2, and the maps were fun, and when I think back, that was probably the best time I had playing Halo Online.
Yeah,
I
that
actually
was for me
think
too.
Halo 2 is my favorite Halo game.
I will
That's
agree. I
there.
liked being able to play as Arbiter and as Master Chief, and I liked how cinematic it felt. Like it wasn't just the cutscenes. Like the cutscenes, I thought went really well with the actual gameplay, and then I loved the rock versions of the theme that they put in there. So it felt very epic, like you were actually playing through a movie, and not just not just watching cutscenes that felt like a movie, but like you went from cutscene to actually playing it, and it was just
I
one.
do like it when it's
Yeah.
like almost no difference in like visual effects from the cutscenes to the game.
And that was
Yeah.
great
Oh my.
about
Keep
that
this in
game, yeah.
mind.
It was crazy what they did, how much like smooth looking geometry they were able to squeeze out of that original Xbox.
Yep.
Like if you compare Halo 1 to Halo 2, it's the polygon count is just phenomenal.
Well, it's amazing now to look at the Xbox 360, look at its first games and how terrible some of those graphics
Oh, I
were.
know, it was like
And then look at
What
something
was the
new and
first
you're
game
like,
for the Xbox
how is this
360?
possible?
Perfect Dark Zero was one of the first ones,
Yeah.
I think
which was
Halo
horrible,
2
by
for
the
the
way.
360.
And then there was
Uh,
Madden '05, which just looked really bad. Every player looked like a short, fat guy. It looked like a bunch of trolls on the field. It was really bad.
you know what one of
And that's a
the
good example because
yeah.
that's like a good looking game now.
Yeah.
But you know what? One of the earlier games that I absolutely fell in love with the art style was Viva Pinata. I played the shit out of that game. That
Yeah.
was actually the first game I got all 1,000 gamer score for.
I have still never perfected a game, not even Minecraft.
Wait,
I
what are
have.
you missing in Minecraft?
When pigs fly.
I
Yeah,
actually got that
Uh,
a few
that
weeks
one.
ago. It's easy. All you have to do is you can't just make saddles. At least not
Yeah.
on our current update. You have to find one in a monster spawn chest by chance, and after that, you go up on the hills, and you try to find a hill that has a pig on it, and then you put the saddle on the pig, and then you ride that pig until something happens.
I still have my first Minecraft world because it's the only one I've found a saddle in, and I do not want to lose that.
I'm a bit annoyed that when they have an update, like all the work that you put into one world, if you did it on um survival mode, if you put all the work into it, then an update rolls around. Like in the most recent one, they're gonna add the end, and that's
Yeah.
a massive one. But in all the worlds that I've done on my Xbox right now, they're almost worthless if I wanted to have all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that's one of the reasons you should keep on playing on the PC version.
Well, does it update on the PC? Like if I had because I have my map on the
Yeah,
PC that I'm playing
the
in survival.
It's
the
endless world,
yeah
so
the server that you play on is actually my original world that I started playing in Minecraft from the alpha version. And so each update just added more and more, so I had to expand farther and farther out because the original place you spawn never actually updates. The code does, but the world itself still is identical to the way it was back in alpha. But all the new regions that spawn around it have the updated materials.
like anywhere you haven't explored.
Oh,
Right.
so does that mean like those? If I had gotten one of the those mushroom areas, whatever those are called, with the mushrooms and everything. Like if I didn't have that and then
Mushrooms
explored
spawn.
out further, then it would.
Yeah, you'd have to travel farther away from the known area to find that.
I wonder if that actually works in the Xbox version. Like, just stay in like one section of the map your entire time.
Well, the
And when it
Xbox
updates,
has limited map sizes,
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
it?
not very big. I
yeah,
think
it's
it's like
1,000 by 1,000. I want to
it's
say.
like the equivalent of I think they said something like 120 miles. It's not it's a limited map. Like if the person was actually walking, that's kind of a reference for you. But of course, he walks at a pace of like 20 miles an hour, so whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very small map. I play both Xbox and PC, and I'm still not. I'm still getting used to the controls on the PC. I know it's a much expansive world, so once I get used to it, I'll definitely stick with PC. But I've just spent so much time on the Xbox version. I've mined and built my castles, and I have all these lava moats around my castles, and I kind of don't want to jump over just yet full time to the PC version because then I have to start from scratch.
Well, when you do, you should join my server. I try and keep it running in the background as much as possible on my machine. I just don't shut it off.
Do you have specific like rules and all that? Because I was doing some research on a couple of the servers, and I made the mistake of like trying to join on a couple of the top listed ones when you Google search Minecraft servers, and these guys have redonkulous rules and regulations that are I get like don't kill each other. I get all that, but I mean just like if you mine X amount of diamonds, you reach a certain tier and a certain.
No. There's no nonsense like that.
I don't want to roleplay too much, with Minecraft. I just want to let my brain rest from my day and play my.
Yeah, that's all it's really there for. Like, Wubwave built a giant lava sign with his name on it, close to the spawn
course
point,
he
which was.
did.
And I wound up blowing it up with TNT, and we built a shrine there in memory of it. But it was something really gaudy that was built next to something that was already established. So if you do something careless like that, it may disappear.
Okay.
But if you actually have a vision in mind for something that you want to make, then it, just as long as you leave space between something that's already existing, you just kind of pick a plot and build it there. And yeah,
my thing is not to rape and pillage on the damn server. It's just to have a good time, and if you send me the server info, I'll log on to it. That way, I can just start from square one and get my my diamond pickaxe and my diamond
Well,
sword.
it's a creative server. It's not a
So it's not survival. It's creative. Okay, cool.
I can't tell if I like creative or not. I mean, I love it because it gives you the opportunity. Hey, here's all these materials that I don't have the time to mine in my real life, so I'm going to be on creative. But at the same time, I find whenever I get too much into creative, it really dumbs down the experience. It really.
Well, that's
I
why,
created a world to keep all of my creative things in. Like anything I want to make in creative, I just go on that world and make it instead of ruining my survival maps.
Well, in some cases, it would if like some buildings have blocks and blocks of diamonds, and that's just not feasible.
Exactly, like my house in my creative world is is like pillars of diamond, gold, and iron, just like repeating.
It's like Master
with
P's
obsidian
house.
like carpets.
In my first Minecraft world, I died the first time when the night fell because I didn't realize, oh yeah, there's no way to get away from these things unless you've already built a house.
I like one thing. I have this other map, in addition to the every now and then when I'm not able to actually connect online, I have my survival map, and I'm like gathering a whole bunch of stuff. I finally have blocks and blocks of iron and all this, and then even though I know like all the rules of Minecraft, there's always this one accident when I'm down at the lava level, and then I fall in.
And you lose everything. You're like, fuck, yeah.
And then I'm just like depressed for like an hour.
And then you spawn
yeah,
in a random spot, yeah.
I rage quit so many times that way.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I've rage quitted and given up Minecraft weeks at a time. Just you know what? Fuck this. I can't deal with this. I lost my lapis. I lost my redstone. I lost my everything. Fuck this shit. And then I just go back to playing.
Yeah, especially if you've been down there and you've mined so much stuff and you're actually on your way back out, and then a monster spawns and knocks you back into the lava, and you're like, what the fuck? I was just about to leave, and now I'm and then to just stop playing Minecraft for a month or two.
I've been shot into the lava a couple times.
Yeah, the damn skeletal archers.
Those things are just
ridiculously
annoying.
good aim.
I have to admit though, I did stop playing Minecraft for a while after they updated it with the end and they had the Endermen, because I got used to the balance and I could actually get around pretty well at night, even with the mobs spawning. Like I could avoid them, but when the Endermen showed up, it's like, holy shit! I don't know how to get away from these things. Like I would look
Well-
at them by accident.
Yeah,
So I actually
I
had
was
to
like-
just
You're just like, don't look, don't look. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck,
I
I
had to
looked at him.
just-
God damn it.
I had to just sleep through the night all the time. I'm like, well, I don't want to sleep through the night all the time. I want to be able to go do stuff. But those damn Endermen,
Endermen
they're
are
stalking
the-
my world.
I mean, unless Enderman for me aren't that big of a deal unless I specifically, because it's gonna be really hard to get all those Ender pearls to actually find the world and activate that end.
It just seems like a pain to me.
You just gotta
Well, you
treat him
don't
like
have
friend
to
of
do
him.
it if you don't want to.
It literally took me 6 months after Minecraft came out to find Diamond.
Wow.
I texted my friends, like I took a picture of my inventory and texted all my friends who play Minecraft, look what I got!
Yeah, did you post it also on the RVB
Oh
site?
yeah, it's
Okay, because
in my
I could have
pictures
sworn
on
as like
Rooster
somebody
Teeth.
posted like it took me 6 months and I finally found a diamond. I was like, really? Wow.
It took me about a month, not a month, about a week to find diamond the first time, just to dig down far enough, because I didn't realize, oh, you have to go pretty far down.
How hard is it to meet the Wither?
Really?
Because it seems like quite a boss, and that seems to be the only way to make a beacon legitimately.
I've never beaten a wither.
No, same here.
I've been murdered by one, but I've never beaten one. Those things are mean.
they're just like bitches.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do have to step out, guys. So,
Well, we can pretty much wrap it up right now. So the only thing that I want to, since we didn't get any questions this time, I do want to repeat the
I still haven't listened to the last.
Wait a minute, didn't Zapdy get a couple questions last time?
well, no one sent any to the email, the forum thread at yahoo.com. Any intros that you want us to use for this, or anything like questions or whatever, you can send it to that email address, and I'll be checking it before every podcast.
I'm gonna make a bunch of fake emails and just send you stuff.
Oh, and I have something to announce too.
and don't send porn. Come on now, you're better than that.
Yeah, anybody
No,
that's
I'm not.
listened
Okay, that's good to know. All right.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
I'm
guys,
into
it's been
cameras.
it's been really fun
Yeah.
tonight. A lot of stuff discussed and a lot of interesting topics. So
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. Also, anybody that's listened to the podcast up until this point in time, check out my image section after this is over with. I have been just doodling away on this page, and I'm gonna post it into my image section. This little
Oh,
doodle.
I feel so love dark. You've been talking and doodling. I've been sitting here.
I've been sitting
Well-
here thinking about how much I need to eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I still
Food.
haven't had dinner and it's 9 o'clock.
All right. So we're going to leave you now.
This is the Forum Thread Podcast.
Good night,
signing
everybody.
out.
Indy
I
loves
love you. I'm Wes. How do I
Yeah.
stop this?
You just
And stop.